Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I don't know if you heard, but Prigozhin, the boss of Wagner Group, was accused of selling out. That is, supposedly contacting the Ukrainians, the Ukrainian intelligence services, those ones that are intelligent, and offered to give the Ukrainians information, the location of the Russian troops if they move out of Bakhmut or something. So now obviously that's idiotic. I think Prigozhin is listened to 100% by the Russians. I don't think he can take a piss without being with 5 people around him without even knowing. I mean, he knows, but anyway, not physically. So what's going on here? Let's read this little article where Prigozhin said, yeah, that's exactly what happened. This article comes from Russia Today, which, these guys are lying, right? From May 15th, 2023. Wagner boss denies talking to Kiev about selling out Russian troops. An alleged meeting with Ukrainian intel agents in Africa would have been physically impossible, end quote, for him to attend, Evgeny Prigozhin has claimed. The head of Russia's Wagner private military company, Prigozhin, has claimed it would have been physically impossible for him to meet with Ukrainian military intelligence agents in Africa to make treasonous proposals to them. The alleged contacts were reported by the Washington Post based on purported leaks from the Pentagon. The outlet claimed on Sunday that classified U.S. documents which made their way to the public through a Discord server claim there has been communication between Prigozhin and Ukrainian military intelligence, GUR. GRU used to be the Russian military intelligence. Now these are GUR. Anyway, the Wagner had allegedly sought to have Ukrainian troops withdraw from the area around the bitterly contested city of Artyomovsk, known in Ukraine as Bakhmut, in order to ease the pressure on his troops for a while in exchange for information on Russian troops' positions elsewhere. Even if that occurred, I think he would have given them false information so they them up. The alleged contacts were set to take place by phone and in an in-person meeting in Africa, where the Wagner Group is also active. Prigozhin dismissed the report as speculation dumped by the Washington Post, end quote, and insisted he had not been to Africa since months before the hostilities in Ukraine broke out in February 2022. He suggested that the newspaper was overstating the supposed intel or had fallen victim to planned disinformation. The Post said two Ukrainian officials confirmed the contacts between Prigozhin and the GUR, but when the newspaper asked Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky about them, he appeared to be angered and demanded to know who the sources of his government were. Who is talking about the activities of our intelligence, because this is the most severe felony in our country, said Zelensky, end quote. He said before accusing the newspaper of trying to help Russia. The Post later redacted this portion of the interview on its website. In a statement, Prigozhin alluded to the apparent act of self-censorship, calling into question the Post's reliability. Yes, I read an article where the Russians claim the interview conducted with Zelensky. Zelensky supposedly, showed his weasel face, because this is what happens, man. When things are, how should I put it, exacerbated or blown out of proportion, and like in his case, he really thinks that he is what these guys are writing about him. He really thinks that he is that important, or maybe he just plays the role too well. But I think at one point, people get drunk of power, and he doesn't understand that his power comes from somewhere else. If you remember now to cite the Bible, all right, when Pilate said that, why don't you talk to me? Talk to me. I have a deal for you. You can't refuse. And Jesus said, because I have your hand, your life in my hand, you said. And Jesus Christ said, well, you don't have anything. Your power comes from far away. talk about Rome, coming from Rome. The same here. Zelensky, you have no fucking power. Your power comes from far, far away. Like the Shrek. Remember the Shrek movie? That whatever. And it has a Mr. What was that? Lord Farquaad or something. Far, far away. Something. So same here. Far, far away. Lord Farquaad or whatever his name is. That little. You see, we can't even say words that are in the dictionaries. Yeah, the midget. Oh, that's what he was over there, portrayed as a, I know, short, little boy. So, I don't think that happened. And because if that would have happened, which is Prigozhin meeting those guys, he would have been gone for a long time. And even if that happened, it happened with approval, consent of Moscow. Probably go and tell them, and probably they will say, yeah, there's nobody there, they're over there. When the Ukrainians would do that, probably these guys will know him up. But I don't think the Americans don't know everything over there. I think you don't need to, oh, where are the troops located? I mean, those Bakhmut, I think, is the 24/7, every little, not second, microsecond is under supervision. They know whenever the guy is calling his girlfriend or something, or takes a poop somewhere, they know that too. Or they fart. Oh, there was a fart. So yeah, it's just BS. If it happened just as a disinformation tactic coming from the Russian. And I don't even think those guys would have showed up to meet Prigozhin. But, well, we find out. This guy says something. The other, even Zelensky was like, say what? And Prigozhin said no. Well, trust who you want, but I don't trust anyone unless I have evidence. In this case, I don't have any evidence but logic, and going around the block a few times prepares us for what is possible and what's impossible in this world. You know what I mean? When people tell you, hey, we're all the same, we all act the same, we all behave the same, we all do this, yeah, okay. Like you've never been in school. Let's start with that one. Or in kindergarten. But if you don't remember those times, school, and then jobs, sports, family, like, oh yeah, we all act the same. We're just the same. We're as good as the other ones around. Yeah. You know how that goes. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.